this afternoon. Thank you all for being a wonderful crowd. I can already tell just by looking at you. Just a couple house rules to go over. If you have a cell phone on you, please silence it now. Don't want any disruptions during the show. If you have to leave, please try not to leave while the comedians are on stage. It's just awkward for everyone. But most importantly, please remember to be yourself and have fun today. So without further ado, let's get it big and let's get it loud for our host, the hilarious Roxy Fisher.
Everybody just loves to do an icebreaker. So I'm Roxy, she, her, VMA. I was born in Corona, California, but I was conceived in Riverside. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't really believe in that kind of stuff though. I feel like it's all like, oh, Sagittarius is like movies. What? It's like me. Oh my god, Aquarius are 5'3" with brown hair and brown eyes. That's like me too. And Cancer is small, should be checked out. I agree with that. So I feel like some of you know the type of person who's like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde, like, I just can't go to discussing the morals of Duck Duck Goose. But you'll live. We all know somebody like that. I think we have a lot of weird class names here at this school. I had a class called How to Be Human, and it was a very fun class, but it was very awkward telling my family I have a class called How to Be Human when they wanted me to be an architect. It just doesn't work. There are a few classes I'd like to pitch to Emerson to really help us students. How to spend $80,000. I don't think I'm doing it right. Just doesn't feel natural to me. How to do the liberal arts 360 at the dining hall. We need to do that more, guys. We are yapping when we should not be yapping. Like, you cannot, like, you are gossiping in the dining hall and it's not working out. Please, people are hearing it, I'm hearing it, like, guys, like, gossip in moderation. And how to recover after getting someone's pronouns wrong, which is just an awkward situation all around. Like, just, it's not fun. Okay, hard transition. I think that you would never find me in a horror movie situation. Like, I just simply wouldn't be there. Like, monsters hunting down noise, I actually killed myself weeks before it happened. Monsters, like coming out through smiles. I don't smile anymore. Just stuff like that, but I think I could survive in an alien situation. Like, call me Sigourney Weaver because I'm getting off that ship alive. But it would be through, like, snot and tears. Like, I wouldn't get off the ship and be like, oh my god, I just did that. Like, guess what I just did? I would, like, not be, like, it would not be good for me. But I do think if I couldn't talk, like, if I couldn't get my way off the ship, I would try to talk the alien down. I would talk her down. I'd be like, girl, like, this isn't you. You don't have to be what they made you. Like, girl, listen. And I think she would. I think her and I would go to the mall together. Like, we're the type of friends that, like, you kind of meet freshman year, and, like, you're not really friends, but you were standing at the same place at the same time, and now you're, like, friends. So, her and I would get along. We would have to do something when we hang out. Like, we couldn't just hang out. But, like, I would see her on the street, like, a year after not talking, and I'd be like, and she just, like, wouldn't look at me. Okay, hard transition. I do this thing called Fishy Nation, where I pretend that my friends who follow my Instagram account are my loyal fans. And I had a wedding where I got married, and I pulled out somebody's name out of a hat and just married them. And I ended up in a three-way with one of my puppets. One of them. I have multiple. But most recently, I faked my death. And then I resurrected myself a la Jesus for Easter. I edited myself into the tomb. And it didn't, I mean, I thought it was going to go over well, but like, some of my religious fans were offended. But people were up in arms when Jesus returned too, so I don't really take it to heart. So I've never really been too religious. I've never really believed in God. I actually used to pray to Santa Claus. Me and Santa Claus were like this. I was his Joan of Arc. I would have gone up and down the street and been like, he's coming back! Christmas Eve, he's coming back! I actually prayed to him once, specifically, through tears. I was like on my knees looking up because in my mind Santa was in the sky. He wasn't on the North Pole, he was like up there floating. because he was my god. I mean, like, what else did I expect? And I prayed to him because I really wanted to be Lava Girl from Shark Boy and Lava Girl for Halloween. And I was like begging, and it didn't happen. So that's how I know Santa isn't real. Sorry to those who just found out. I was an interesting kid. I mean, I would huff laughing gas. So I got a lot of teeth surgery. I got my wisdom teeth out when I was 8. That's why I'm so stupid. And they let me take home the mask they used to like give me laughing gas, and I put it. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I can't sleep. And I was like 8. And I would go to the fridge, and in the bottom drawer I hid the laughing gas mask. I would take it and take a huff, and then I would put it back and go back to sleep. Why was it in the fridge? I keep my laughing gas on the rocks. I had to take the edge off of 3rd grade somehow, because 3rd grade was pretty tough for me. I mean, like, I was a bit of a bully. But I use bully lightly because, like, I know my true heart. So I thought I was really fast runner, but I wasn't. Like, I would like try to race kids my age, I'd always lose. So I like gave up on that, and I would go to like the line that like separates like the big kid playground from the little kid playground, and I'd go over there and I'd be like, I'd spot a kid and I'd be like, come here, and then they'd come over and I'd be like, hey, wanna race? And yeah, I did it a couple times, but I got in trouble for it. So my sister didn't really have like the same elementary school like experience as me. We get along really well, but she's pretty stupid. She's like her and I communicating is like Einstein and a Tim Robinson character. It just doesn't really like match. So I was once showing her this picture of this funny owl, and she turns to me, and she's not kidding. She's not making a joke. She's not making a pun. Like, you're gonna think this is a pun. It's not. And she was like 15, and she goes, "Who is that?" As if I know the owl. I'm like, yeah, no, me and Tommy, oh my God, we go way back. Actually, we go to the bar every Sunday to catch the game. Yeah, no, he got me my job. He put in a good word. He's just a great guy, like all around. Like, he talks about his kids, and his kids, oh God, they're great. Like, I went to the recital, like, oh my God, they're just so talented. And actually, he used to supply me with my laughing gas. So, we have a great show tonight, guys, today. And, but before we get to the next comic, I mean, come on, that election, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm not talking about that. So, here comes Devin Hill.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? When thinking about what I wanted to do for this set, I was kind of coming up with a blank. I thought that maybe I should reserve some space for some people's stories that aren't usually told, like in the media and stuff like that. Exactly. And so I actually found these two people named Wilson Thatch and Christina Blackwater. And they're just two very inspirational people. And I thought that they should have this time instead of me talking to you. So I'm gonna welcome Wilson Thatch to the stage!
Hello, my name is Wilson Thatch, and I am an archaeologist. I actually just went on a dig last month, and I found something very special. Hold your applause. I have just found Julius Caesar's diary. You can clap now. And it actually has an entry from the day that he was murdered, Ides of March. So I'm going to give you an exclusive sneak peek and read it for you here today, folks. How do we feel about that? Let me get into character. March 15th was like any other day, until it wasn't. All my friends invited me to a meeting. I was confused because that's my job. I called the meetings. I conquer the land. I take whatever I want. So why did they invite me to my own meeting? I went anyway. outside was weird, and I noticed every time I looked down or away, they would creep closer to me. And then Brutus yelled, "Over there!" I looked. I looked. All of a sudden, they were all hugging me. I was happy because they'd never done that before.
Ow! What was that? Ow, that hurt! They were stabbing me! Me! I conquered the land. I brought my dad's famous salads to the meetings, and this is how they were paying me? By stabbing me in the back? Stabbing me for being bisexual?
That's right. I'm bisexual. And they killed me for it. I know this is in ancient Greece, but I thought everyone was doing it. Young guys, old guys, young guys with old guys. You know, they could have just talked to me about it. What happened to lend me your ears? Now it's just, I'm gonna make up a conspiracy about you becoming a dictator because you're bisexual that leads to your death. One conversation could have cleared this up. And you know, gay people love to talk. You know, people need to stop talking about the affair I had with the Babylonian king when I was younger. Newsflash, I'm Monica, he's Bill. Yes. Get why you were mad. I was sleeping with your mom. But who hasn't? You people can say all you want that you killed me because I was gaining power. But we all know it's because I'm bisexual. Of course you guys want me in power now. I did all the work! Yeah, kill the cool guy, the cool bisexual guy, and leave Decimus alive. Yeah, because he's a lot of fun to talk to at a party. This just goes to show how people switch up on you once you get a baddie. Love you, Cleopatra. So that was the entry. You know, I think we learned a lot about ancient Rome today. And I think that if you do not learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. So if you see a powerful bisexual person, let them be. Let them be. Take it away, Devin.
Everyone give it up for Wilson!
Okay, now we have Christina. Christina, come out here, girl! Welcome to day one of Bouchard's cheerleading camp. I know that your parents dropped you off here because they thought you were special. Let me break the ice. You're not. Some of you are decent, but the others are disgusting. With that in mind, let's go into our first cheer. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go, Lions! Go, go, Lions! Your turn. Wrong! Some of you have the rhythm of a caterpillar, while others have the mindset of a gazelle being eaten by a lion. The lion, me. 5, 6, 7, 8. Go, Lions! Go, go, Lions! You, go.
Go, Lions, go! Oh.
Did everybody just see that? That's what a person who disgusts me looks like.
Oh.
McKinley, come here, darling. You're telling me there isn't a single McKinley in this entire room? You guys are lucky that she's not here, because if she were here, none of you would matter. As of right now, some of you matter.
Aww.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do now is that you're gonna go again, and we're gonna try that again. Okay, go.
Go, Lions, go, go, Lions.
Wrong.
Oh.
Let me tell you guys a story, okay? There was a brunette girl with asthma who loved to cheer, but she could never go down a squad because she was a brunette with asthma. So what did she do? She skipped homecoming, she skipped prom, she never touched any drugs. She dedicated herself to the art of cheer. Sidebar, you with the glasses, you can just go home. be denied a spot on that squad. She was so good. That is the work ethic you need. That is what you need to do at this cheerleading day camp. Where do you think she is now? Where do you think that little brown-haired girl with asthma is? Probably flipping burgers in a Wendy's because she's a brunette freak. You don't need a good work ethic. You need to be blonde and pretty. If McKinley were here, you'd see that in person. That just reminds me, all of the boys in the crowd, you're gay. And your parents know. Not because they found your Madonna collection, it's because you begged them to go to cheer camp. Now we're gonna try the cheer one more time. I'll show you. Oh, just a reminder, the very concept of a child can do this cheer, okay? 5, 6, 7, 8, go, Lions, go, go, Lions. You, go.
Go, Lions.
All of you are gonna get up and do 5 laps, and when you come back, I'm gonna teach you what it's like to be someone that people enjoy the general presence of, because I don't think any of you have that quality right now. Take it away, Devin.
Ah.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for allowing me to give space and time to people who usually aren't represented in the media, archaeologists and cheerleading coaches. And I hope you enjoyed that time. Thank you.
Everyone, I'd like you to take a moment and thank Santa Claus for comedy. I mean, come on. Please welcome Korson.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't continue until I kind of talk about this. My name isn't Cooper. You've just been lied to. Yeah, legally, my first name is William, which makes me Will Smith. No, it's not something that I'm really proud of, actually. I only started going by Cooper a few Oscars ago. But you know, inevitably, every semester I have at least one professor who just doesn't write it down, and they just start calling me William in their class. And really, all I can do at that point is just give them a subtle reminder to keep my name out your mouth! Yeah! But I really do struggle with my name because it turns out that Cooper also seems to be one of the most popular dog names of the last decade. And that's just a standard I will never be able to live up to. Oh, but Cooper, who would compare a human's qualities against those of a dog? I'll tell you, my high school freshman year football coach. The very first day of practice, he walks up to me and he says, I got a dog named Cooper. He's a black lab. He runs fast, like a bullet. Are you gonna run fast? Long story very short, I never played football ever again. But not because I didn't run fast like a bullet. It was because I was too happy when we lost so badly we had to forfeit at halftime. But like, come on, was I wrong? We get to go home early. That feels like a celebration. You know, despite my usual positive demeanor that I put out there, it's true that I do experience sadness sometimes. And something that really hit home for me this year was the end of Oakland A's baseball forever. Like, my dad worked there for the first 18 years of my life, so I literally grew up with this team, going to games all the time. But then the dumbass millionaire owner decided to just give up and move the team to Las Vegas. Thanks, John Fisher. So I decided to start my grieving process by going to a San Francisco Giants game. And whose name do I see on a plaque of people who saved Giants baseball? John damn Fisher. This weasel was playing both sides, so there'd be only one Bay Area baseball team. Ugh. I don't know, maybe you guys can tell why I'm a little bit upset. Those are core memories, gone, flushed down the drain, never to return. But you know, one benefit that I've found from this is that I finally get what those people who make the sad Bart Simpson edits are feeling. So here's my impression. Bart Simpson, he's sitting in an empty baseball stadium. The rain is coming down. Caption says, my childhood is gone forever. I still see my baseball in Oakland. So back home, my summer job is to work at this boat rental place, which is very nice. It comes with some great benefits, like you get to work on the water every day. There's a cute little cafe right next door that we get our food from. And so naturally, I decided to return this last summer. And as a senior executive, I got to meet the new hires. And who do I see walking down the dock on that first day but my middle school bully, Tim. And oh man, when I tell you, he was just as unlikable as I remember him being, thank God. And I say thank God because this kid loved to talk about himself and all the really awesome stuff he liked to do in his free time. So essentially every shift I just got to sit there and listen to him self-report to me. Like, he bragged about how he was ghosting a bunch of women on Tinder over 40 because they were too clingy and looking for a committed relationship. It's like, why'd you set your age preference that high in the first place? Don't know. And then other days, he would show up to work with these visible injuries, like a black eye or literally limping down the dock, and then explain he got them from a fight night with his boys. And it's like, okay, clearly somebody wasn't paying attention when he watched Fight Club. But you know, what really bothered me about him the most was how uncomfortable he would get around the queer employee from the cafe who would bring us our food. Like, clearly this person was so nice and just trying to have a fun time at his job. Like, for example, one time, he showed up with our food and totally unprompted, stood up on a chair and jumped off into the full splits. And then, cool as a cucumber, slid us our sandwiches with a little, here you go, handsomes. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much, that was incredible, because I'm a kind person. But as soon as he left, Tim would turn to me with this dumbass look on his face. And, what the F? Is he allowed to say that? What do you mean, Tim? Isn't that like sexual harassment? And it took everything in my power not to say, Tim, if you think receiving an unsolicited compliment from someone you're not attracted to is sexual harassment, congratulations. You know what every woman you've ever talked to has experienced. Woo! You know, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised at how homophobic Tim was, because that's exactly what he would bully me for in middle school. I'd be there sitting on the bus, listening to my tunes, singing my little heart out, and he'd walk up to me, flip me off, and just call me the F slur. And it's like, this was 6th grade, I didn't really know what that meant yet. I had only just started watching Glee. So when he'd do that, I just assumed he thought I was a really good singer. But you know, I found that Tim's not alone. There's been kind of a pattern throughout my life of people mistaking me for being gay, which I'm not offended by. I'm actually quite proud. And you know, I kind of see where people are coming from. It's probably just because I'm one of those guys who will talk to his friends and say things like, I love you, man, or you look really cute in that outfit, or God, I want to kiss you so bad right now. Or maybe it was just because I was one of those kids who did nothing growing up but performing arts, and that just kind of lent itself to certain assumptions. But really all that doing performing arts did for me was give me the false idea that straight white cis man was a cool and unique identity. Don't worry, I know a lot better now. But you know, with so many people thinking I'm gay, I kind of started to believe it myself. Like, I remember the specific moment in my life where I was really questioning my sexuality. It was during an acting camp. I was one of 2 guys in our entire group, so you know, naturally, we kind of got to know each other, became friends, and hey, I'll admit it, everyone, he was very attractive. Pulled off that middle part like nobody's business. He played the guitar in a band, so kind of check for me. But it led to some awkward situations in this camp. Like, he'd be up doing a scene. We'd be sitting in the audience while I'm racking my brain trying to wrestle with my emotions. Like, am I just proud of my friend, or am I totally in love with him? And then the girls in our group would start trying to flirt with me, and I'd have to be like, not right now, I'm thinking! ultimately, I decided, no, it just could never work. That's not really what I'm into. But he was also 100% straight, so that might have contributed somewhat as well. But you know, I've decided to relegate myself to easily the most hateable identity out right now. But I've got these cute little earrings just to keep the mystique alive. Thank you all so much. I'm Cooper Smith.
Guys, after seeing the presidential cabinet picks, it's made me realize you don't have to actually be qualified for the job, and that's opened up so many opportunities for me. You don't even believe. Please welcome Avi Scheinberg.
My dad works at an abortion clinic. And it's really weird because I don't know how or why he got so into abortions. I just know that it was after I was born. And yes, I am an only child. You know, it goes without saying that abortion is healthcare, so you would think that he worked in the medical field before this. Wrong. He used to work for Verizon. And I don't really get where or how that correlates. Because like the only thing Verizon and abortion have in common is that the service is really terrible if you're in Texas. So that's what my dad does. Now for my mom, it's a much easier subject to talk about. My mom is a museum curator at the Holocaust Museum. Yeah, so I don't know how many of you watch Schindler's List with your families, but watching it with mine is the absolute worst. It's like, I'll be sitting there trying to enjoy the movie, you know, as you do with Schindler's List. And like, they'll name drop someone on the list and my mom will just go, hey, I know that guy. Like, I have his stuff. You know, typically after like a long day, families will have dinner, talk about their days, and it's a nice wholesome conversation. But at my house, it's like an edgy middle school joke because all we talk about are dead babies. Yeah, here's a reenactment of how these things typically go. Abortion, abortion, abortion. Nazis, Nazis, Nazis. Man, the Nationals suck. So, I am from the great state of Virginia, and I love being from there. I'm a proud virgin in more ways than one. And being from Virginia, I'm a huge Washington, D.C. sports fan. But it kind of sucks right now. The worst part without a doubt is our basketball team, the Washington Wizards. Usually when the topic of sports gets brought up, and I mention I'm a DC fan, everyone's like, oh, so you're a Wizards fan, right? And I'm just like, yeah, please don't mention it. You know in basketball when like a player makes that epic game-winning shot, and you know fans will storm the court in celebration? Well, the last time we in DC got a chance to storm a court, it was January 6th. And those weren't even in support of the Wizards. Those were in support of the Grand Wizards. Now, to be fair, unlike the Wizards, at least the insurrectionists had an effective offensive game. Now, if we're gonna get real for a moment, I will never forget where I was that day. Just sitting on my couch, TV on, watching the news, and I'm just in shock, disbelief, and just anger I was feeling when on January 6th, 2021, my haircut appointment had to be canceled. It was a sad day for all of us. But what's fun is that I'm from Alexandria, which is close enough to DC that we're in the mandatory curfew zone on this day. So because of this, I like to just start conversation again, like, yeah, I was in DC on January 6th, what about you? Yeah, and it's all just become my new favorite icebreaker question. It's like, you know, someone will come and be like, hi, welcome to the Boylston Report. Please say your name, your grade, what positions you want to work on set, and where were you on January 6th, 2021? Because you would be really surprised how much you learn about someone based on their answer to that question. And so I went to a private school for elementary through middle school, and then I started going to public school in high school. And so one day in 9th grade, this girl came up to me. Yeah, shocking, I know. And she and I started talking, and she was like, so you're Jewish, right? And I'm like, yeah. What gave it away? Was it the everything? And so we're talking a bit, and she was like, so what was the circumcision like? And, you know, I kind of love it when we get asked this question, because what am I supposed to say? Like, I don't remember. I was 8 days old. I probably cried like a little bitch. And so a fun fact you might not know is that after they perform a bris, they just put the foreskin in a plastic bag and just give it to you to take home like you just won it at Dave & Buster's. So that means there's been plenty of instances where a kid has gone up to their parents' attic looking for relics of their past. But instead of finding some terribly made art project from when they were 5, they just find their foreskin. And it's just been sitting there, rotting in this bag for 20 years, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Another important Jewish life cycle moment I experienced was I had a bar mitzvah, and the part of the Torah we read during that time was the story of the 10 plagues. So we decided to survey all the guests over which of the 10 plagues was their favorite, and exactly one person said that their favorite plague was death of the firstborn. She's a mom of 3. So I guess we know who her least favorite child is. But for me, my favorite is the first one, the Plague of Blood. And if you're not familiar, if you've never seen Prince of Egypt before, the story goes that all the blood in the land of all the liquid in the land of Egypt was turned into blood. And they mean all liquids. So that means all the men went to use the bathroom. They're like, there's blood coming out of my genitals. And all the women were like, yeah, not so funny, isn't it?
Yes.
You're in luck, because speaking of periods, something my parents encouraged me to do when I came to college is they thought that this would be a nice gesture for me to carry tampons in my backpack in the event someone I know might need them. Now, again, it's something with great intentions. There's just one slight problem with that, and that's that no one's gonna come up to me and want to disclose that information. And I don't blame them. I look like the last person someone would want to tell that to. And I don't know if my parents thought this would make me popular, but it definitely hasn't. So, because I just had all these tampons just in my backpack, just waiting for the day they get to spring into action. And it's such a shame no one wants one. You know, they even have googly eyes. He lives here now. So one other thing growing up is that a lot of Jewish teenagers, I grew up going to camp, which knowing what my mom does for a living is pretty ironic. Yeah, the history of Jewish sleepaway camp is so fascinating because it was the 1950s, and it's like we saw what happened a few years earlier, and we were like, yeah, let's just do the camp thing again. Yeah. But this time on our own terms. Could possibly go wrong. And so it was my final year as a camper, and there was this girl in my grade who I met for the first time. And I thought she was, without a doubt, the most beautiful girl I ever met. Unfortunately, so did literally every other guy in my grade. So I knew that if I was going to impress this girl, I had to step my game up. So I was determined to make this one of my favorite movies ever, Moneyball. Now, if we're going to use baseball terms for a bit, it didn't look great at first. Did I have, good playoff experience? No. Did I have a good recognizable name and brand? No. Did I have a good-looking build to my team? What do you think? You laughed too hard at that. What I did have, according to my mom, this is the most important part, was a winning attitude. I had the chance to be a true underdog story. And I'm proud to say that just like in the movie Moneyball, I was eliminated in the first round. The main motto of Moneyball is, he gets on base, but all I did was strike out swinging. Yeah, so I thought I would never see this girl again, but fast forward a few years later, I'm back at camp as a counselor, and to my surprise, this girl is as well. So I'm thinking, yes, God's giving me a second chance. And so there's one night where all of us are just hanging out, we're all just talking, and this girl is there as well. Again, not because I was, but she was there. And so the topic of conversation is about what our parents do for a living. So naturally I bring up the abortion thing because it was June 2022 and it felt topical. And but this girl brings up something very interesting. She mentions that her mom is a TV producer. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's literally what I want to do with my And so I then think about it for a moment of just the irony of the fact that this girl who I've had a crush on, it's been years at this point, is the daughter of someone I might want to work for one day, or possibly take her job. And I was like, yeah, thanks for the confidence. And so I'm like, wait, I don't think God's trying to give me a second chance. I think he's just trying to troll me. So I have to keep this conversation going, so I do the most logical thing. I turn to her and I just say, in the least creepy way possible, please, tell me more about your mother. So, long story short, and this may come as a shock, I didn't get the girl in the end. But guess whose mom I'm connected with on LinkedIn now. Thank you all so much. My mom made this shirt.
You guys may or may not have heard about holding space for defying gravity. But it's time we hold space for Ella Korson.
Hey guys, hi, I'm Ella. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today at Emerson Comedy Special. Give yourselves a round of applause, it's exciting. Yeah, it's weird, they told me at the door since it's being recorded, you guys have to laugh at everything, so. Yeah, I don't know, take it up with the suits. But yeah, I'm so excited that we're all here together today because this past month has just been rough. There's just been so much happening. There was class registration, which was survival of the fittest. There was an election where the least fit survived. And then a YouTuber fought a boxer. And then more people tuned into that than the actual election, which is not a joke. So it's not looking great, and just to top everything off, this was supposed to be the winter that I was really going to let loose and start wearing berets. So it's just not great for me. And, I'm having a lot of trouble finding the good in this situation, and that's hard for me to admit because usually I'm an optimist, which by the way is code for the most annoying person you've met. And I can't find it. Everything feels irreparably bleak. Like, does anyone else just want to eat Triscuits in the shower and listen to Bridge Over Troubled Water? Acoustic. You guys right now, you're like, uh-oh, she went dark. She was supposed to make us laugh. And I'm like, I know, she's kind of a bummer, but, we should give her a chance. I feel like she really has something. Plus, she's really pretty, so, guys. But yeah, I'm so glad that we're all here together today. And I've been feeling a lot of guilt lately, with everything that's going on, because I've been feeling guilt that I'm pursuing a career in entertainment and not one that directly helps others. And I feel like I finally understand what it feels like to be an NFL player. To just be sort of like rugged eye candy that, America turns to for teamwork and touchdowns. And this feeling of guilt is not a new phenomena for me because my best friend from home, she wants to be a nurse for premature babies, which is just, I know, it's amazing. She's awesome. And, she's literally wants to be a superhero and she'll save children's lives. And I am a class clown with a dream. By day I'm Ella, and by night I'm also Ella. So, I think in times like these, it's important to stick together and not be alone, because nothing ever good comes from being alone. And that's not why I'm here, but it's also not why I'm here. Two things can exist at once. And I recently realized that being alone never goes well for me. I realized that I just can't handle being alone, and I found that people don't like to hear that you have trouble being alone. It makes them very uncomfortable, which is why I talk about it with all of you guys tonight. And people are always telling me I should explore this, and what I've explored is that I don't enjoy my own company. I find myself to be very anxious, I have raging OCD, and I can never agree on a movie with myself. So it's just like all those things. And, you know, I love myself, right? Myself and I, we go way back. But do I want to spend an entire day alone with myself? No. And being alone is something I've had trouble with my whole life. When I was in 5th grade, we had something called quiet solo reading time. Do you guys remember quiet solo reading time? Yeah, the quiet people are like, yes. And the people who just cheered were not good at it. And so, you know, we would all be spread out around the room, quietly reading to ourselves. And I would find myself unpacking my teacher's divorce with him in the corner. And I'd be like, you know, Mike, divorce is difficult, but you'll only come out stronger in the end. And he was like, this is supposed to be solo time, and aren't you 11? And, you know, being alone, it's just something that I've had trouble with my whole life. When I was a junior in high school, my family took a road trip to Cleveland, which left me home alone for the week, which is usually a high schooler's dream, right? To have the house to yourself, to throw a rager, or have intercourse, I presume. I don't know, you know, this might be hard for you guys to believe, but I was actually not very cool in high school, you know, which is probably hard to picture seeing me now doing stand-up for you guys on this Saturday afternoon. But it's true. If cool was here, then I was somewhere over here waiting on platform 9 3/4. It's a Harry Potter deep cut. And so, you know, this week was just going to be me, myself, and I felt very nervous because I wasn't sure, you know, what I would do with myself or like what cool things we'd talk about. And so I decided to do something to take the edge off, a little social lubricant, which is how I ended up taking my first trip with Mary Jane. Yeah. And that's cool people lingo for steal one of your dad's edibles while your family's in Cleveland. And, you know, people with anxiety and OCD do not always have the most chill reaction to substances. Does anyone else have anxiety or OCD? Yeah. My guys. So, yeah. So you guys know it's the best. No, it's the worst. It's having the worst of both worlds. And, because you're always sort of in this state of panic or fight or flight. Do you guys know what fight or flight is? Yeah. Okay, so it's like that physiological reaction that dates back to when we were cavemen that tells us to like run from the saber-toothed tiger. You guys are like, science and comedy? Did Christmas come early? But, you know, I think there's something wrong with my instincts because I don't fight, I only flight. And I don't know if it's like my gentle demeanor or my deep-rooted fear of physical conflict. But I'm a runner, not a fighter. And so I always just find myself reverting to that. So like when a normal person gets a headache, they're like, oh, you know, it's probably a headache. And for me, I'm like, probably a subdural hematoma. You guys come on, I'll be at the ER. So when you add THC to that, you end up a little more paranoid and terrified. But it didn't start out that way. No, at first it was more like, oh, look at me just walking around my house stoned. I think I'll eat this tub of hummus. Stoned. I wonder what the origins are of the word stone. Note to self, look up when not stoned. Oh God, here comes my dog Grover. God, he has no idea. I feel like Grover is really funny and has really great comedic timing and no one's talking about it. Oh God, has that ficus been there the whole time? Just be cool. I tip my hat at you, ficus. Oh my God, that was so embarrassing. Everything's fine. Does this look normal? Oh, it's kind of hard to breathe in here. Do you think anyone's ever died from weed? I'm gonna look it up. Reddit says yes. Reddit says yes. Oh my God, what if my throat's closing up and I need an EpiPen? Why don't I have an EpiPen? That's wildly irresponsible. If I make it out of this alive, I am getting an EpiPen. Oh my God, I'm gonna die and they're gonna have to put death by an edible on my tombstone. So it wasn't going great. And so I did what any rational person would do, which is I got in the shower and started crying and called my parents. They did not share my same concerns. And what they said was happening to me was called a panic attack, which felt like kind of a condescending diagnosis coming from two people who don't have household EpiPens. So I got into bed and I waited for it all to be over. Which is when Grover came in with one of his classic one-liners. And I was like, God, you're so funny for a labradoodle, but not now, I'm going through something. The next morning, I woke up grateful to still be here and
lucky to be alive. I talked it over with myself, and we made the executive decision that this was the beginning and the end of my stoner career. I look back on that, and I think, in a lot of ways, I saved my own life, and it was kind of heroic, and it was kind of heroic in that way when you accidentally start a fire, but then you put it out yourself, and it's still kind of heroic. And I think, not all heroes wear capes. Some wear berets.
Guys, what if we change this into a rigged fight? I mean, in that situation, I would love to be Jake Paul, which is something that nobody has ever said in the history of ever. So please welcome Lily Monday.
I know you guys are like, who's this guy? Great dancer, but who is it? It's me, Lily. And I see some of you guys squinting, like maybe you recognize me. I am famous under a different name. That was a lie. I'm not, and I'm sorry that I lied, and I'd like to say that I will not tell any more lies for the rest of the set, for you guys. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm like the type of person that would lie. So we're gonna do a little thing. Everybody raise your hand if you've done something really nice for other people. Okay, this is disturbing how many of you aren't. Okay, awesome. We got a bunch of angels in here tonight. Now raise your hand, hold on. Oh, okay. Raise your hand if you are a robot. Guys? Someone's raising their hand. Okay, well, can you make sure you don't take any of what's said out of this room, okay? With AI these days, it's really scary. Anyhow. Now, everybody, we're going to get deep for a second now. Everybody raise your hand if you've ever made a mistake. Now, I want you guys to do me a favor. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. And also, I've been thinking about all the negativity thoughts that we have up here. So I just want everybody take them in your hands. Do it. I don't see you guys doing it. Hold it in a ball in your hand. And just let it rip on them. You suck. Tell them something. Do it now. Nice. Good. Okay. Now throw it away, but don't throw it at me. I don't want it. Oh. Okay. So a lot of you threw it at me, but I guess it's fine. Anyway. Oh. Okay. So now I'm gonna make it about me a little bit. So everybody think of a word that you think of when you look at me. Okay. And then, on the count of 3, you're going to shout it out. Okay, are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Who said pickle? Someone over there said pickle. Handful of gorgeouses over there, thank you. Someone over there did say pickle. Okay, now everybody shout out somewhere you went today. 1, 2, 3. Who said the beach? It's cold outside. Okay, I don't know who wrote that joke. It wasn't me. Now, everybody close your eyes and picture what heaven looks like for you. Okay, now open them. Was I there?
Yes!
Oh my gosh, thank you. For me, heaven is like a room, but the room is also an amusement park. And there's an old guy there, but he's not my grandma, but But it's definitely not my grandpa, but he's somebody's grandpa. Okay. Guys, I really need a win right now. Like, I wish I was around before they discovered all of the easy stuff. Like gravity, I could have done that one. I could have been like, yeah, stuff goes down. Based on my calculations, I've noticed a lot of things are going down. Or like solid liquid gas, I could have done that one. Also, I have like too many. Okay. My shirt got hooked on my shirt. And anyway, I think I have too many bad thoughts to be an inventor. Because I have a lot of intrusive thoughts, but I wish they were like good ones. Like I wish I was just like, buy everyone tickets to Disneyland right now, do it, you have to. Or like, say a prayer that everybody in the room has a really good day after this. But no, it's like, there's an old woman struggling on the stairs and I'm like, I should push her, she'd get to the bottom faster. Which is really mean, and I don't mean it at all. But yeah, also, I feel like I have trouble when there's like a situation where you have to behave a certain way. Like seeing a play, I'm always kind of like fighting the urge to be like, no, or like I want to get up on the stage and do the nay-nay. or like play music really lightly so you can only hear it when it's like a really quiet scene and it's kind of like, or like I saw Romeo and Juliet, and you guys heard of it? Yeah. And I wanted to hop up on the stage and be like, hello, Romeo, my name is Cassandra, and I hail from the town east. How's Juliet? Just to like make the actor think on their feet, you know? Anyways, yeah, so, I'm gonna talk about sex.
Yep.
Woo! It's nice, right? Yeah. And that's it. You know, I'm gonna do some impressions for you guys, some faces. So this is my face for when I see someone who I don't know that well, but I kind of know them, you know that person, and I see them crying on the street, and I want them to know, like, hey, I care, but it's like I can't really talk to you. Okay, this is my face for when I see like a mom struggling in a grocery store. She's got like 5 kids and she's really stressed out, and I want her to know, like, I get it. And that was kind of creepy, but and okay, so this next one's an impression of an assistant surgeon, and I need you guys' help for it. Okay. Can everybody on the count of 3 say scalpel? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Scalpel! Scalpel? How about an apple? You work too hard. Hey! Okay. Now is my impression of, I work at a law firm, and I just got, like, everybody's recognizing me for my recent sale, but I'm humble. Thank you, everyone, but I'd like to thank my team first. God, okay. Now I'm gonna do a zombie, I guess. Brains. I'm just like, I'm tired of being the funny guy all the time. You know, like, I come up here to make you guys laugh, and that's like all I'm good for, but I actually have a lot of things going on too. And I have a lot of real life pain inside, and vulnerable thoughts and secrets and feelings. So I'm gonna read them to you. We're reading it. This is for if other people see it, they can't read it, but we can. Change is really hard for me. I listen to the same 5 songs where I know what happens because I don't want any surprises. I think my ex might have feelings for their new girlfriend. What? guys, like everybody hates homework, but like I secretly love it. Like I love being like, I have a big deadline tomorrow. I had school in mostly Spanish for 2nd and 3rd grade, and I didn't know Spanish, and I still don't, and ever since then I've had no idea what's going on. I cried through a whole production of The Producers when I found out about death. This next one is sad, but please laugh. I wouldn't describe myself as a leader. Sometimes when I get angry in public, I'll do like a like sometimes I can't hold it in. Like recently the bathroom door was locked and I really had to go and I was like, ugh! Like anyone could have seen that. Or like someone pissed me off in the grocery store the other day, and when she turned around I went, ah. She didn't see it, but like I felt really guilty after. I often find myself in situations where like I could save the day, but I just kind of sit back and I don't. Like I watched my grandma fall and break her wrist because I thought she was joking. But it's like, what 90-year-old with dementia is like, oh, I'm falling. I'm about to go down. Like, I was laughing because I thought it was a joke and she broke her wrist and it was my fault. It healed, don't worry. I do flirting weird. Like I always like feel the need to bring prop comedy into it. Like I'll be like, this wall, when's the last time they painted it? 1860? Or I'll be like, here's everything in my pockets, what do you think? When you're on like a public bench and a stranger sits next to you, I get really sad when they leave. Speaking of leaving, my set is over.